So good morning students. In today's class we will see third type of commutation technique, that is known as classic commutation, also known as a complementary commutation. So what is the main principle of working of this technique? A thyristor carrying load current is commutated by transferring its load current to another incoming thyristor. Means there is two thyristors are there in this topology, and two resistors R1 and R2 are connected in series with the T1 T2 respectively, and between the midpoints a capacitor is connected, and the voltage across this capacitor is VC, and the full DC voltage applied across the whole topology, that is VS. So what is the working principle? At a time one thyristor will be on and it will be off by the another incoming thyristor, that is T2, and when T2 conducts, T1 will be in off condition. So also here two assumptions we have to assume. That first one is the when VC T is equals to 0 is equals to VS, means T is equals to 0, VC having a voltage of VS volt at the starting, and T1 will be on and T2 will be off at T less than 0, that is T is equals to T0 minus. So in the first mode, what is there at T is equals to 0, thyristor T1 will be on. So as thyristor T1 will be on, it is short circuited here, and thyristor T2 will be in off condition. So in thyristor T1 two currents are there. One will be flowing through this resistor R1, and one will be flowing through this R2 and C branch, which is denoted as a red line, and one is the this blue line IR1. So two currents are there in this IT1, this thyristor T1. So we can write the KCL equation. IT is equals to IT1 is equals to IR1 plus IC. IC is the charging current which is flowing through this capacitor, and if we put the values of IR1 and IC, then IR1 is equals to VS divided by R1, because if you simply apply KVL in this branch, we can obtain this IR1, and this charging current, because of R and C combination, it will be a charging current having behavior of exponential. So IC will be written as K into T raised to the power minus T upon RC. So if we want to calculate this charging current peak value, so it is if we apply the KVL, then we can see that the VS and this minus if we minus plus Vs, that is 2 Vs voltage across this capacitor, and divided by R2, because R2 will be there in this branch. So if you want to find current, it will be equal to 2 Vs divided by R2, which is the peak value, and e raised to the power minus T R2C. So R2, why? Because the time constant RC there, and because of R2 in this branch, R2, and we will write the R2 because we currently will be flowing IC in this R2C branch. So this is the final expression of IT1, and two components are there in this. One is a steady state component and one is a transient component because of capacitor charging. And if we want to calculate the capacitor voltage, we will simply integrate this IC expression with respect to time. If we integrate this IC expression with respect to time, we will obtain VCT is equals to VS E1 minus e raised to the power minus T1 upon R2. See, this is the transient voltage. So this expression shows it is a charging profile of the capacitor. And what will happen at the end of this mode? The capacitor polarity just reverse, minus plus Vs. So when capacitor is discharging and voltage across it, it is 0 volt. Why 0 volt? Because in this case, if the capacitor discharging and reverses polarity minus plus Vs, then we can see that if we apply KVL in this loop again, then Vs minus Vs equals to 0. So net voltage will be 0 across the capacitor. So voltage across it is 0 when fully discharges the capacitor. Then at the end, source will charge the capacitor with opposite polarity. So source will charge this capacitor with the opposite polarity in case of capacitor will be discharging. So at the end, polarity will be minus plus Vs. But what will happen in the second mode? So in the second mode, thyristor T2 will be on and thyristor T1 will be off, as the pulse is applied to thyristor T2. So in this mode, also that two currents are flowing, one through this R2 resistance and one from this R1 and C branch. So it is a red color, in which R1 and C is there. So two currents are flowing here. So if we add both currents, we will obtain the two components. The one is a steady state component, one is a transient component. So and time constant will be R1C, because this charging current will be flowing from this R1 resistor, and this IR2 will be Vs divided by R2. So two expressions of current are there. So these are the mode 1 and mode 2 of conduction. And now we will come to the waveform part. So in the waveform, we simply draw waveform by seeing this expression. So IT1 will be a Vs divided by R1 plus 2 Vs divided by R2 e raised to the power minus t upon R2c. So one is the exponential behavior, and after that steady it will uh, take the level of Vs divided by R1 at t is equals to infinite. So t is equals to infinite, it will be just taking a level of Vs divided by R1. So this is the IT1 expression, and after this T2 will be conducting, so this current will goes to 0 from this Vs divided by R1 level. And IT2 expression which is similar as case of IT1, so it will achieve a level of Vs divided by R2 at steady state, and after that it will become 0, and again after this T1 will be come into picture, and it will be charges in the same profile. What is the capacitor voltage? So this is the first one is the this is a cosine behavior. So according to cosine behavior, if we integrate the charging current expression, we will obtain this capacitor voltage through this thyristor T2. So it is a voltage across the thyristor T2, and this is the voltage across the thyristor T1. So this expression shows that it will obtain 2 e raised to the power minus t R2c minus 1. So it will have a profile like this, decreasing exponential, and sorry, this is a cosine, and it will achieve after first mode it will have the negative polarity minus Vs at the end of first mode. So this we can see that at t is equals to 0, thyristor T1 will be on, thyristor T2 will be off. So at the on period of thyristor T1, it will achieve the negative polarity at the end of this mode. So capacitor have voltage of minus Vs, and it is a cosine behavior. And sorry, cosine, not cosine behavior, it is an exponential behavior. As we can see that the expression, it will be have an exponential term, so it is exponential term will be there. So this is a profile of this thyristor in case of thyristor T1 on, and in case of thyristor T2 will be on, this will have the profile of this type of profile will be there. So minus Vs2 plus Vs, again it will charge in the exponential behavior and increasing the capacitor voltage profile will be there. So if we want to find the TC1 and TC2 time, circuit turn off time of this time, so it is the time up to which there is a negative voltage will be there. So in this case, if we want to find, we will simply put Vc equals to 0, because at this point Vc will be 0, it is a 0 crossing point. So if we want to calculate, we can calculate this by putting the 0 in this expression. If we make this voltage to be 0, we will obtain the TC2 and TC1 respectively, showing as in equation number 1 and 2. And if you want to find the peak value of thyristor current, so we can find peak value of thyristor current if these are the expression of thyristor currents, which is in the expression this denoted in the expressions to expression of IT1 and IT2. If we put t is equals to infinite, then it will up at the steady state, it will take the level of Vs divided by R1 plus 2 Vs divided by R2 as shown in the expression also. So it have the level of 2 Vs divided by R2 plus Vs divided by R1. This is the level of current. So the peak value of current will be this peak value of thyristor current will be written as expression number 3, and similarly in case of T2, peak value of current can be written as Vs divided by R2 plus 2 Vs divided by R1. So this is the expressions of peak current current across the thyristor T1 and T2 respectively. Now we'll find the what is the capacitor value for this commutation to make successful. So if we want to find capacitor, we can find from expression number 1 and 2. So from expression 1, TC2 will be R2C and ln2, which is a base logarithm base, natural log base E, and C is equals to TC2 divided by R2 ln2. So from this expression 1 and 2, we can easily find the capacitor value. So if we find the capacitor voltage, it can be written as expression number 5 and 6. What is the TC2? It is a circuit turn off time, which can be written as safety factor into TQ. TQ is the device turn off time, and SF is the safety factor. So in question, they will give the value of safety factor and also the TQ value, that is the device turn off time. You can easily calculate by putting the value of R2 and ln2. We have to if we find the value of ln2, simply we can calculate this, and if we put the R2 value, and we finally calculate the capacitor value from this expression 5 and 6, which have the different value. Why different value? Because R1 and R2 have a different values, so capacitor also have a different values. So if we find capacitor of different values, then how we can choose the which one is the better capacitor for the commutation? So we will choose the capacitor have the highest value to make commutation possible. So from this 5 and 6 expression, if we calculate the capacitor value, we will choose the higher value of capacitor for to make the successful commutation. And finally the application part, where we use this technique. So this technique is used in the parallel inverter and current source inverter. So in the earlier classes we can see that the class A, that is load commutation, which is used in the series inverter, but this type of configuration is used in the parallel inverter and current source inverter respectively. So in this way we complete this class C commutation, and in the upcoming lecture we will see the another type of commutation technique known as class D commutation, also known as a voltage commutation. So thank you.